Hi, I'm Kelley Knickerbocker, and I want to welcome you to Kickassiette here at Mosaic Arts Online. What we're going to do in this workshop is we are going to learn how to build a palette from all kinds of crockery items. We're going to build a palette thinking about texture, color, shape, all of those things, shine, matte, all that stuff, and then we're going to put it all into a mosaic that's pretty much all crockery with a few additions. Okay, and what we're going to need for that is, of course, a selection of crockery. And probably we're going to have more than we use, but that's great because then you always have what you need. So whenever I'm building a palette, I'm going to get a lot of stuff. And you can see that we focused here on, for this piece, we focused on a red, gray, black, cream kind of palette. So that's what a lot of this stuff is right here. And it's all kinds of things, pitchers, cups, plates, bowls, because we want to use all the dimensional, bumpy, lumpy, curvy bits of this stuff in our mosaic, because that's the beauty of working with crockery, is that it's so dimensional. So the tools we're going to need, of course, we've got to have our nippers. We've got to have a burly set of nippers, and I recommend Montolets because they're meant for thicker material than just glass. So those are going to hold up really well, and they're going to be less work on your hands than a lighter set of nippers. China markers in black and white because our mortar is going to be black, our substrate's going to be black, so we need to draw on it in white, and then we need the black to erase the lines that we don't need. So we need the China markers. Sharpie is for me to write notes to myself and to write sometimes registration marks on the pottery if I need to. We're working with mortar because we need a thinset. We need an adhesive that has body and that allows us to embed deeply these big burly pieces and tip them and have them stay. So we're going to work with mortar. That means we need a mask, a dust mask, and gloves because you want to make sure you're protected from breathing that. It's got silica sand in it, so you want to be protected from breathing it. And if you have skin sensitivity, you want those gloves. Okay, we also need scissors, because at one point we're going to use the baggy method of using mortar, so we need to clip the end of the baggy, so scissors. We of course need all our crockery, and we need some delicate items to blend in. You can see there's some delicate places, some delicate things we're doing. That's part of the success of working with this big bulky stuff, is that there's also delicacy. So I've brought in some bugle beads and some small I've chopped up some small items of crockeries because we got to have that delicacy for balance. And then finally, there's this new product that I'm going to introduce and show you how to use in the video, and it's called Gilder's Paste Wax. It's optional, but I wanted you to know about it, and I'm going to show you how to use it. It's what we use to gild the ends of these items, so you can color your clay body with this stuff. So it's really exciting, and I show you how to use it in the video. So you need Q-tips for that. You need the item itself. You can check your materials list. It tells you where to get it, what it is, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a thinner for that, which is called terpenoid. It's a synthetic, odorless, hallelujah, turpentine synthetic product. So that's what we use to thin that product and make it a little bit easier to use on the crockery. So that is the entirety of what you're going to need, and I can't wait to get into this with you. So let's go.
Kelley, thank you so much for coming to Mosaic Arts Online and sharing one of your ever so talented and amazing projects with us, and what you create here with all of this, which was a pitcher at one time, or a plate, or a bowl, or a cup. You've broken it down already so they can sort of see how you really see it, which isn't a bowl, isn't a cup.
Yep.
But thank you for coming. I'm really excited you're here.
I'm so happy to be here. I love doing this, and I love seeing you, getting together with you, and doing this. It's a joy. Thank you.
Well, we couldn't be happier. So let's just dive in right away. There's different philosophies about crockery mosaic, and I know yours is a little different. So can you elaborate on how you go down this path with this material?
You bet. So for me, there are different sort of schools of thought about crockery mosaic, and I see that there being kind of two ways to go. One is where we concentrate on preserving the character of the original material, the cup or the bowl or whatever it is. We're preserving the nature and that previous be a story of what that item was. That is not my philosophy.
Which is great.
I
You get to
am
make this.
I am of the deconstruction school of of thought around crockery, and that is I see it in terms of reducing it down to its elemental form. I see it as an element, as a material, rather than what it was before. Although, that said, I do love working with things that were vessels, that were curved, that were holding something. Because of that previous life that they have lovely angles and curves and bumps, and so it's important that they were what they were, because that comes into play as I build with them. But in terms of preserving that nature and sort of focusing or showcasing that, that's not where I'm at. I'm about reducing them down to their elements and figuring out ways to use them as tesserae, where you have to kind of look twice to realize that, oh, that used to be, whatever, or you can't even tell that they once were crockery. So that's where I come from.
Yes, well, you'll learn that this was once a pasta dish, and what it became in this piece is quite phenomenal. So it's clear that you do have a strong materials focus, but what makes the mosaic unique? Because the Kickassiette, which is such a great name for this, and because of you just get in there and kick butt on things. What is it that makes your design sense? Are you going to share some of how the design and the different things come into play with this?
Yes, because as far as I'm concerned, design and understanding a little bit about what makes design work and composition, and balance, and things like that are crucial for a successful mosaic. As mosaic practitioners, because our medium is so dimensional, anything we use, stone, glass, all that stuff, it's stuff. It stands up. It's not paint that's flat, right? It's very dimensional. And because we can use anything, it's easy to get caught up in the materials aspect of it. And I'm guilty of that, and I embrace that my entry into mosaic is through materials. I love the materials. But we can go overboard and just sort of have a materials orgy, and we have to kind of pull ourselves back and learn how to edit. And that's the hardest part for me, is editing. The less is more, and allowing there to be open space, allowing there to be less places where the eye can stop and rest, breathing space, balance in, because it can get very busy. It can get very busy and very conflicted, confusing, and I can't remember who it was. It was one of the Italian masters. It might have been Verdiano Marzi or one of those guys said something that stuck with me for years, and that is, don't ask your mosaic to do too many things. Mm-hmm. Ask your mosaic, let your mosaic be doing one or two things really well, rather than trying to have your mosaic doing 15 things not very well. So that has always stuck with me, and the idea of doing good art as well as just well-executed materials presentation, I feel, is crucial. And we will definitely get into this in this video. We'll talk about continuity, about spontaneous design, about editing, about referencing, about continuation. All kinds of those awesome design issues are going to come up, and we're going to talk about it. Absolutely.
Well, and with all of this, to not seem intimidated by this amazing piece that she does create in this course, there's a couple things you need to know. First of all, this course doesn't come with a template, so it's up to you to watch and learn to then create on your own. You're going to take all the elements that she shares, which are plentiful, and then you're going to create on your own. So there is a level of deciding that you can do this without a template, without a design given to you, but very doable. But also for beginners, because what's great about this course is that you can go get all these materials at a thrift shop, yard sale, Craigslist, eBay. All those things can be found. So having to look for the materials is really not that challenging. So you would say that a beginner could really dive into this as well and
Absolutely,
learn a lot.
absolutely. And in the video, I take several items and show you exactly how to cut them in order to save this or to save that. If you want to save the handle, if you want to save the rims, if you want to save the foot, here's how you would cut this. And we go through and cut many different pieces. So absolutely, this video is for wherever you are in your mosaic experience, because we're going to talk about how to cut it and we're going to walk through how to set it. And so it might take some trial and error for you if you're newer to this. So, but you're going to have a lot of principles when you come out of this. You're going to learn so much about working with mortar, about cutting this stuff, about how close together to put it, how deep into the mortar bed. There's going to be a lot of that. So you'll have plenty of education, and you can go on and take that into everything you're going to build in the future.
Yay! I can't thank you enough. This is just such an awesome course, and like you said, you can take this in so many different directions,
Yep.
but it's great for anyone. So thank you so much for coming to Mosaic Arts Online.
My pleasure, Tammy. Thank you. It's been great.
Awesome.